All right, let's get right into it. Picture this. You queue up for a battleground. The gates drop, and it's instant chaos. You're a healer, right? But there's no tank. There's no front line. Just a storm of damage and 3 teammates who are counting on you to be their guardian angel. It is frantic, it's intense, and you have a massive target painted on your back. So how do you not just survive this, but actually dominate?
You know, this is the question every single PvP healer asks themselves, whether you're in the huge open fields of Cyrodiil or the tight, chaotic arenas of Battlegrounds. When everyone is gunning for you and there's nobody to hide behind, success can feel, well, impossible. But it's not. It just takes a completely different way of thinking and a very specific set of tools.
So, in this explainer, we're going to lay out the entire blueprint. We'll kick things off by embracing the absolute madness of BGs. Then we'll cover the one rule to rule them all for healers. After that, we're getting into a super simple formula for your gear, the skills you absolutely have to have, and then we'll bust some common myths that are probably holding you back.
Okay, so let's really set the scene here. In a battleground, you are getting hit with everything all at once. You've got massive burst damage, you've got damage over time effects ticking away, and pressure coming from literally every direction. Any decent player is going to spot you, the healer, in seconds, and they are going to coordinate to shut you down. Without a tank to make space for you, your survival is 100% on you. Your awareness, your positioning, and your build.
And that leads us directly to the single most important rule in all of PvP healing. Seriously, this is a philosophy that should guide every single choice you make, what gear you wear, what skills you slot, every step you take. This one idea has to come before everything else.
Let's just sit with that for a second. I mean, it sounds so obvious, right? But it's such a profound truth. Who cares if you have a 3 million healing score if you spent half the match looking at a gray screen? Your number one job isn't actually healing your team. It's keeping yourself alive so that you can heal your team. Self-preservation isn't selfish. It's the best thing you can do for your group.
So how do we actually do that? How do we stay alive? Well, it all comes down to mastering these 4 pillars. It's this constant dance, right? You have to stay close enough to heal your team, but far enough away that you don't get jumped on. It's about mobility, kiting enemies around pillars, using the terrain to your advantage. It's about managing your resources so you never run out of gas. And finally, it's about building your defenses so you become your own personal tank.
So, let's talk about building to be your own bodyguard. It can feel really overwhelming with all the different gear sets out there. But trust me, there's a simple, incredibly effective formula you can follow. Let's break down that recipe.
And here it is, a super simple 3-step recipe. First, you start with your mitigation set. This is your personal survival core, and it's almost always going to be 5 pieces of heavy armor on your body. Step 2, you add your support set. This is what helps your team, and it usually goes on your weapons and your jewelry. And finally, you finish it off with a keystone piece. That could be a monster set or a powerful mythic. This formula is the perfect balance between your own toughness and your group's success.
And here we can see that formula in action. It's so flexible. If you want a great all-around build, you could combine a defensive set like Daedric Trickery with a powerful offensive buff set like Rallying Cry. Need to be an absolute tank? Pair the raw defensive Pariah with the crit resistance from Transmutation. Or hey, maybe you're feeling a bit risky. A set like Ethereal Ascension can pair with Powerful Assault for a huge team damage boost. You just plug in the pieces that fit your style.
Okay, so we've got our gear sorted. Now it's time to talk about the tools for the job. Your skill bar is prime real estate in PvP, and some abilities are just, well, they're non-negotiable. They are the absolute foundation of any good healing setup, no matter what class you're playing.
Now, what's really important here is understanding why these skills are so essential. PvP is all about movement. People are constantly dodging, kiting, and repositioning, and that's why sticky heals over time, or HOTS, are king. Radiating regeneration and echoing vigor, they follow your allies around, healing them no matter where they go. Then you need that emergency button, a reliable burst heal like Blessing of Restoration for those oh crap moments. And finally, you absolutely 100% need a mobility skill like Race Against Time to get out of snares and stay quick on your feet. These are your bread and butter.
All right, we've got our survival-first mindset, we have our gear formula, and we've got our core skills. Now it's time to take it to the next level. Let's refine the craft by tackling some really common myths, looking at the actual numbers, and avoiding the big mistakes that so many new healers make.
This question comes up constantly. If you want bigger heals, do you just stack a mountain of spell damage? Do you pump everything into your max magicka? Or is there, maybe, a smarter way to do it? Well, the answer isn't as simple as just picking one stat and going all in. So here's how the math really works. Different kinds of heals, like different kinds of stats. For your consistent heals over time, stats that boost your healing done give you the most bang for your buck. It makes for a really strong, steady stream of healing. But for your big, emergency burst heals, stacking critical chance is often way better. A massive critical heal can pull a teammate back from the brink of death instantly, in a way a regular heal just can't. So you really want a smart balance of both.
Okay, time for a big one. For years and years, the Templar has been the classic healer class. I mean, they have an entire skill line just for healing, so they seem like the obvious choice, right? But in the super fast-paced, high-mobility world of modern PvP, is that actually still true?
The biggest problem for the Templar today is mobility. So many of their best skills force you to stand still in a tiny little circle, and that's basically a death sentence in PvP. Compare that to a sorcerer who can streak across the battlefield while their pet heals from a distance, or a warden with incredible mobility and amazing defensive passives that are just always on. In a world where movement is life, being forced to stand still is a massive weakness.
And that brings us right back around to where we started, to our core philosophy. This is the golden rule that ties absolutely everything together. A healer who can't survive, who isn't mobile, simply cannot do their job. Your ability to live through the chaos and keep up with the fight is more important than your raw healing numbers, more important than any support set. You have to build to live. You have to build to move.
So there you have it. We've laid out the entire formula. Survival first. That simple 3-step gear recipe, the essential skills, and a new way to think about what makes a great healer in today's game. But the best part about a formula is that you get to plug in your own ingredients to make something totally unique to you. So the real question is, what's your secret recipe going to be? What will you create to thrive in the chaos?